Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Empath Heart Healing YouTube channel. My name is Dr. Eileen Scholes, and I am an empath. This channel is designed to encourage empaths, lightworkers, wayshowers, anybody who feels called to help the planet be better. We offer encouragement, tips, and just a lot of love and light to support you. And we also participate in these beautiful interviews with wonderful people who are doing magical things in the world. And so on that note, I would love to introduce the wonderful Jacqueline Valdez. Being raised in a cultural Hispanic heritage and artistic family, Jacqueline Valdez's love for the arts was bonded at a young age. Originally from Colorado, she made her way to the sunny state of Florida to pursue her dreams of becoming a professional dancer and, in her parents' footsteps, an entrepreneur. Jacqueline has been seen hosting red carpets and announcing aerial events with Pole World News, and currently she hosts interviews with aerial celebrities for X-Pole. She is a brand ambassador and affiliate for both X-Pole and Mighty Grip. Jacqueline is also a contributor writer with Sheen magazine, which can be found at stands worldwide, and host of Sheen Talk Live, interviewing celebrities. She is the proud owner of Jacqueline Valdez Dance Studio and talk show and podcast Live with Jacqueline Valdez. From the darkness of the pandemic, the journalist within Jacqueline was born, along with her talk show that is streamed live to multiple social media platforms globally, engaging the souls that need to be uplifted. I love that. Discover the collection of positive conversations, spotlighting the stories and experiences of diverse rising stars and celebrities at Live with Jacqueline Valdez. And she is illuminating the world one voice at a time. So welcome, 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 sister.
Yes, I'm so excited and so honored to be here. So much love for you.
So much love for you. I'm so excited about this, just to connect with your energy again after so many years.
Yeah.
And, we're gonna just dive into questions, but, you and I met through the pole world, the international pole world of dance, artistry, aerial arts, competition. And that industry is a beautiful mixed bag of energy. And I'd love to hear your story, because I know for me, when I found pole, it was many, many years ago with Sheila Kelly's S Factor in LA. And that's why when we did the Pole World News Awards, the first one, we wanted to honor her, because she was one of the founders. Of course, there were many others, Fanya and many others, East Coast, all over the world that helped start the industry of pole fitness, merging it from being more stripper-esque into dance and fitness and competition. And it could be anything you wanted it to be, from the sensual to the playful to all kinds of things. But I know when it came into my life, I was in grad school, and it was just this incredible awakening on many levels. Meeting at that time mostly women. There were more women in the classes. So this beautiful experience of meeting dynamic, powerful women, entrepreneurs, writers, producers, dancers, all kinds of things that really actually were cool. They weren't They weren't catty, they weren't drama-based, they were really kind and loving, warm and strong. And it just lit my fire to be around strong, beautiful women. I love that. So there was that. And then there was the learning to fly and learning to climb and feel very strong and athletic physically. And it kind of like transcended into our lives, on all levels, right? Like feeling mentally strong and emotionally strong and spiritually strong. So I don't want to make it, but it was a wonderful awakening that happened in my life all those years ago, and still very much a part of my life. I've got my pole in the corner.
Nice.
But I want to find out, like, before I ask you about other things. How did you even get into pole? I don't even know that I know your story.
Okay, well, actually, it's kind of funny because I'm a fitness instructor. So Pilates and ballet were my background. And I took a class at a workshop and I thought, okay, this is kind of fun. Maybe I'll go back to it again, but it wasn't really mainstream. Then 5 years later, I had a really good friend in the industry, and she was like, you need to start pole dancing. You need to find a studio in town and pole dance because you would be really badass at it and you would love it. And I said, maybe I will. And then my mom actually found a studio in town and she was like, you need to go to pole dancing classes. Let's do it. So she went with me to the first one.
Cool
And
mom.
right, very cool mom. And then I had so much fun and I met some really amazing women in class. And we thought, let's start to like really take this serious. And then within 6 months, I did my first audition for my first competition, Florida Pole Fitness Championship. Didn't think I would make it. I had friends that told me I wasn't going to make it. It was too soon for me. I was a baby poler, but I had such a different style and more of a ballet style. And I was just, having fun, walking around the pole, sexy, doing my splits, I owned my fire girl. So, and then from there, I got hooked, seeing all the energy and just like you said, how welcoming and loving the community is. I had come from such a strict dance background, ballet and modern, where it was very competitive. It was not as loving and supportive. I love my background, but at the same time, pole was a whole new world. And then that's when I decided to go to New York and professionally train and get certified and really get serious about it.
Wow. I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. See, I never knew your backstory. I've just known you as this beautiful soul and light in the pole community, but I love hearing that. Thank you.
Yes, yes.
Right. So I read some of it in your bio, but I'd love to just know what you consider, like if someone were to say, what's your professional background? How do you respond to that?
That's a really good question because I do have many roles. So I'll say I'm an entrepreneur. I am also a professional dancer, and I just really want to inspire other people. So that's my huge, purpose in life, is to really just inspire others and to lift them up and to just share love and light and, just make people see how beautiful they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How old were you when you realized that was how you wanted to move through the world?
I think I was really young when I realized it. There was moments when I was in grade school. My mom used to own a beauty salon and she was in the basement, and I had my room next to her that I would hang out, and I would start teaching imaginary people dance and choreography. And I would want to always like mentor people and imaginary people. And I was always the nice person in school. I was always the one that was kind of weird, kind of awkward, that was bullied, but yet I always kept trying to see through, and I would still be really nice to people that were even mean to me. So I think then I knew, but I didn't really know until I got older and I really understood.
Yeah.
And then there was a moment where my aunt, she was on her deathbed when I was really young, and I was the only person who she recognized out of the whole family, and she said goodbye to me. And so that was something that my mom told me when I was really little, that I had special abilities and special talent with the spiritual world.
Beautiful. Yeah, it's interesting how the soul's light shines through regardless to what's happening, when we're little, regardless to what's going on, trauma, drama, chaos, whatever. And what do you think? Do you feel like it is a choice to be that when you're that young, or do you feel like it's just a calling, like it's just the essence of who you are and you really don't have a say so in it? It just emanates from you. What do you think?
I think it's a calling. I really do believe that there were so many instances looking back now that I really wasn't quite aware of what was happening or what was going on. But there were so many situations that were so beautiful and spiritual, and where there was light surrounding me that I did not even really realize it.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I think as we get older, once we start to open up to it and let the doors open up, we make a choice to really, be a vessel and let it continue to flow through us.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that light is extremely healing. And I can think of, like, for example, when you have performed or when you've competed, and how you're dancing and you're telling a story, but the light is emanating from you, and that is creating healing to whoever's ready to receive it. It's not just our words, it's our eyes, it's the dance movements, it's down to the outfit that you chose to wear for that particular performance. It's so many things.
Yes. And it's funny that you say that, because my last competition, I got a silver medal. And this dance, the song was very deep in meaning. It was a tribute to both my mom and dad. The outfit that I wore was her favorite color. There was a lot of symbolism with some of my moves that I did. And when I went on stage, that was the one time that I really felt healed from my parents passing. And I felt really connected with them. And I felt like they were on stage with me. And I was told to this day that that was my best performance, and that I just shined the whole time. Yeah. And I touched people. I made people cry.
That's so beautiful. And okay, so now I have to share. So recently I went to a dance retreat. It was called Healing the Wounded Healer. And I've shared bits and pieces of this with people. It was deeper than I could have imagined. It was all these, healer type people, some in the medical industry, but a lot of like yoga, holistic, natural type people, therapists getting together, and we danced all week. And we did dancing with the 5 rhythms, like that. It was like that style. Okay, the teacher comes from that lineage. And so we danced out our chaos and our sadness and our grief and our loss and our anger and our hell no and everything, our sensuality. And we danced the whole week. It was phenomenal. And then we had meditations and sound baths in between and teaching. It was amazing. But because of that, I tapped into a knowing that I'd never realized before. And that was, along with my work in the world, I came here as a soul to bring healing to my family lineage. And so through dance, a big, huge door was open, and I realized I had a huge integration and a huge insight into honoring my parents, but then going deeper and honoring my indigenous cultures. Like, I've got 3 different indigenous cultures, honoring them and healing the lineage, going all the way back ancestrally to the beginning of our line. And that's happened really in the last month. That's such a powerful integration of who I am as a soul and what I was here to do for my family, to repattern and restore and heal. That's very recent. And so there's a lot of new things occurring because of that. So I think it's beautiful that you mentioned that, because I've been talking to different light workers and healer people and friends, and they're all having these interesting experiences with regard to family. And I think we're all being called to use our light, not only for the outside world, which we feel that we've been doing, but to recognize that this light that we have is very much to bring restoration and peace and healing to our own family line, both this particular lifetime and then all generations. So I thank you for what you just shared, because I feel like it was needed to be said. And I don't know who will watch this at some point, but I feel somebody or many somebodies are going to watch, and the light bulb's going to go off that, oh yeah, my work is also to my family. In fact, that's probably the first reason why my soul chose to be here now. And I feel like there's something about us healing our families that actually is going to help the planet be better. And healing is going to be different. Sometimes it's forgiveness. Sometimes it's just sacred honor. Sometimes it's just really loving them. It's remembering, right?
Yes.
So many beautiful ways, but thank you for
Wow. That's so beautiful that you said that. And that's so, this conversation was meant to happen.
Yes.
So speaking of family, I just recently found out too, last week, from my ancestry, that I have some royalty in my family and I'm related to a saint. And I actually just found out and I'm wanting to explore it more and dive into it more. And I think that's so cool that you said that. And I've been having a lot of really intense dreams with my family lately. I've been feeling them around me a lot more. And, dance, like you said, dance and music is so healing. And there was a moment last year. This last year has been really challenging for me. I got kind of lost there for a little bit because I had a really bad trauma. And so I've been trying to really the last couple months focus on healing again and finding my center, finding my light, and forgiving and forgetting and moving on and realizing there's a bigger picture, and something that bad happened has actually made more of my light shine now. And so now I'm trying to, work through some of that still through
Mm.
dance and meditation and yoga and, talking to my spirits and my family. Yeah.
Yeah, so beautiful.
Yeah.
So on that note, without sharing anything you're uncomfortable with, what challenges have you experienced that helped you reach a higher level of strength? It doesn't have to be recent trauma, but even just throughout your lifetime.
I would say losing loved ones definitely was something that was really hard. It took me a really long time to heal from losing the first love of my life. I was really young when it happened. And so there was a lot of regret and a lot of harshness I was on myself. I thought I could do better. But now that I'm older, I'm looking back and you would do better if you knew better.
Exactly.
So I'm learning to, really embrace that. And then losing my parents, that was really challenging. And also my house. So I went through a huge drama where my AC leaked, my pipes leaked, and my roof leaked. And there was a year I thought I was not going to have a place to stay. And my entire home got completely destroyed. Every room was destroyed. I had to throw stuff away. I had to rebuild it. I had walls that had to be taken down. I had a really bad mold and mildew issue. And that seeing the strength of being pretty much homeless for like a year, staying on people's couches, was pretty intense. And so, but seeing the community around me was amazing, and seeing how many people were there to help me. And after that, it's like, okay, COVID's nothing. Like this is fine.
Yeah.
And then the trauma that happened last year, I was attacked by a friend, actually a friend's husband. And so that was really, I'm still kind of working through that. But I feel like it's pushing me to be even more determined, to be even stronger and even brighter, and watch out. This is what I can do. You can't stop
Yeah.
me.
Well, I thank you for sharing that, and I'm sending you so much love and light and healing to you.
Thank you.
So let's talk about your career.
Yes.
We got into it a little bit, but what would you consider some of the highlights of your career? Some of the fun things, the interesting, the intriguing, the odd, the weird, the scary, the just whatever. I'd love to hear a little bit more because your life is so interesting. I don't know, the real quick, like I've been so blessed living in LA. I've known producers, I've known actors and actresses. And then, being in the pole industry, everybody dances, everybody's a pole instructor or owner of a studio. People are performing. We've known professional, aerialists that work with Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah.
So like our world, I think, is a little bit, I think we're used to this beautiful, amazing, sparkly, magical world that maybe the regular world doesn't experience. It's like normal to us. Do you know what I mean? It's normal to us, but it's not necessarily the average. So I think it's fun for people to get a glimpse into your world and things that we take for granted. What's it like?
Well, actually, what's really crazy and what's really awesome is the whole hosting red carpets and working for different companies doing interviews. I have to actually say thank you to you and owe you a huge thank you, because you were the person who really believed in me and who really was opening doors for me with PWN. And so that was my real like recognition of, oh my gosh, I can interview celebrities. I can host red carpets. This is actually really fun. I enjoy this. I love just hanging out with people and just getting to know them, not like as a celebrity, but as a person. And so that's always really fun. So I always think back to when I went to LA and hosted the red carpet for PWN. That was a highlight.
So on that note, thank you. And, shout out to Klaus Price, my previous business partner who co-founded Pole World News with me. Klaus, I love you and I honor you. So thank you for all that you invested in Pole World News so that we could get that off the ground and honor the community at the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion. We were the first ones to ever have polls at the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion at the Los Angeles Music Center. So it was epic. It was wonderful. And it was our contribution to honoring the industry. And Jacqueline was one of our first hostesses. And you always were a favorite. We just loved working with you. I know that Klaus and Michael and some of the others always just talked about how special you are and how beautiful your energy is. And I agree.
Oh, thank you. So much love for all of you guys. And, my new talk show, Live with Jacqueline Valdez, I have been meeting people from all over the world, incredible spirits, incredible beings. And it's really pushed me to be a more spiritual person. There's a lot of things that I'll think about in the daytime, or I'll talk with friends. For example, one day I was talking about a friend from high school that's a medium now. And later I was talking to one of my guests on my show, and he started bringing up about a medium. So I find all these similarities of things that I'm thinking, and then it manifests into these conversations I'm having with people, which is so awesome. So just being, I guess I like almost like a rebirth. So I keep having all these multiple rebirths, and it's just incredible. It's like, okay, I'm going to the next level, to the next level. And just seeing that people are inspired, and that people, because, my car accidents and everything with my physical ailments, I was never able to dance again, supposedly, and I have. And so that's been a huge inspiration to so many people too. So seeing people push themselves more too is something that's really beautiful, and just touching lives. That's, a huge thing. And getting to travel is super fun. I miss traveling. I haven't really with COVID. But, having amazing conversations, hosting red carpets, being in magazines has been some really cool accomplishments too. Some of the people that I've interviewed are pretty amazing, cool in the gang, some people that wrote music for Mandy Moore, just interesting spirits. So it's super fun.
And it feels like you're exactly where you're supposed to be. I know you travel more. So do I. I love traveling, and I love seeing the planet and the world and helping where I can. But it feels so much like you are so aligned with your soul work. And I love that. That is my thing. Seeing people just in their groove, doing their thing. And even in this world where there are lots of hardships and challenges, people still holding the light. Do you know what I mean? Holding the light and being the light and honoring the light within the collective. And unapologetically, yes, we are quirky and we are weird. Not really, but to the world, like weird and off, and they don't get us, and it's okay. You know what I mean? And to be still holding that light when you aren't quite understood or gotten is just such a beautiful, magical thing. And yes, being an empath and a light worker and a wayshower is very magical. It's very magical. And it's interesting you brought up mediums, because just like earlier in the week, I met two of them. And, and beautiful lights, beautiful souls. I think people get weirded out when they hear the word medium. I have met some of the most beautiful, profound light workers who are mediums, just so dialed in to spiritual consciousness and aligned. And just don't forget those of you who get freaked out about mediums. They are an empath. They're a type of empath, and they're a type of light worker as well, bringing light oftentimes to people who have transitioned, who are fearful of crossing over to the other side, or who have messages, things they needed to say to their loved ones that weren't said prior to passing, that medium is a bridge. You know, they do many things. I'm not going to pretend that I know all that they do, but they're definitely a bridge between the afterlife and this present life, and they offer a very much needed service. And I'd like to honor them as well as within the empath community, because I think a lot of times people have some strange ideas about what they do and their role, and I feel their role is to be honored. They're bringing light, and they're really bringing beauty to both sides. And like many of us light workers and empaths, they do have one foot in this world and one foot in the other world. You know, they're multidimensional beings, and I feel like all light workers should be honored. So
I agree. Yes, definitely. And yeah, my medium friend, he was from the younger years, and we reconnected recently, and he kept saying he wanted to tell me things. He wanted to share things with me. And there was stuff that no one else would know when we talked. And there was things that in my mind, I could not forgive myself from when I was a teenager and I had done stupid stuff, or I was just like, the reckless little kid that, was just selfish and bratty and, being a teenager. And I was thinking for all these years, oh my gosh, I wish I wouldn't have done that to my mom. I wish I wouldn't have done that to my dad. I wish I was a better kid. And then he tells me, oh, your dad thinks it's so cute how you take your shoes off at the door now. You didn't used to do that when you were younger. And little stuff that I'm like, okay, so I've been holding all this regret and anger, and the whole time they weren't even thinking about that. It was all in my head. They had moved on and they were just, sending love. So it's pretty cool to, once you speak with the medium and to really get insight to, what they know.
yeah, and I feel like sometimes we imagine our loved ones who've passed on as still thinking the way they did in the 3D in this human lens, but they've passed over into another dimension and their consciousness has expanded, and they're no longer imprisoned by the lower emotional constructs like bitterness and unforgiveness and shame and guilt, like those, that's very human. But when you transition, that's lifted and you're in the light and able to see through the lens of God consciousness. And so, yeah, I mean, mediums in that way are here to teach us, aren't they? They're here to teach us to view the afterlife and that next realm very differently, not through this 3D linear lens.
Yes.
Okay, so what inspires you, my dear? What or who inspires you?
My parents, I definitely, they're my angels that have been a huge inspiration. My mom, when she was dealing with an illness, and so growing up, seeing her struggling, she was always such a huge light, and she was always so loving and so giving and such a beautiful spirit, so gentle. And so that has been a huge drive since she passed, that I wanted to make my parents proud. And that's my main purpose really, is they're my huge inspiration, and they're always watching over me, and I can feel them all the time. And so that's a huge reminder. Okay. And Mother Nature and, all the animals and all the innocent little beings inspire me. Yeah.
I know, they're so precious. I love animals so much. I can't get enough of them.
Yeah.
I can't. I love being out in nature and seeing them in the wild, and their cute little eyes when, they're not sure if they can trust you, but you can tell they want to come connect. They're so cute, right?
Yeah.
They want to connect with us. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you get through tough times now? Like, do you have mantras? Do you have some kind of routine? What do you do? What positive thing do you incorporate in your life to get through difficulties like the pandemic?
I would say some things I've been doing to get through difficult times of the pandemic is a lot of breathing, a lot of just closing my eyes, visualizing, going out on walks, going to the beach, nature, surrounding myself around, yoga, dancing, Pilates, music, playing music, and just listening to music, having some red wine.
Yes, yes, yes to all.
Yeah, taking nice baths, burning oils. I've been really wanting to surround myself and have been surrounding myself with a lot of crystals lately. I feel there's times where sometimes I get, because I am an empath, sometimes I feel too much energy from some people and it can be a little chaotic. So I have to kind of like recharge my battery and reset myself and just really, have the salt lamps on, have my crystals on. Yeah,
Yeah,
relax. Yeah, cuddle with the fur babies.
yeah,
Yeah.
I love that. And so for those of you, if crystals are new to you, they're beautiful. They're part of our planet. They're not weird. They're part of the planet, found all over the world. They can help with physical ailments. They can help with mental and emotional ailments. Their main functions are anchoring, so they can anchor energy, they can activate some energy into you, they can help you integrate energy, they can act as protection as well and cleansing. So they can, some of them, like a selenite crystal, can cleanse your auric field. They can help activate, they can work with your chakra systems and get them clear. They have a lot of very, very beautiful properties, and I encourage you to study them if you're not used to it. I have crystals everywhere all over my house, and oops, that was funny. I'm working with, this one's really super small, but I'm working with emerald right now. This is a raw emerald, and I have hematite and all kinds of things around, but
Aw.
thank you for bringing up crystals and salt baths, because these are things that empaths need to know. You can use Epsom salts, you can use Himalayan sea salt or Himalayan pink salt. So many beautiful things help us to recenter and recharge. We're taking on a lot of energy. We're, trying to balance the emotional intensities of the world, the planet, the people, the animals, the plants around us. Plus, we're contending with negative electromagnetic frequencies. And so, for this reason, however we can protect ourselves, we want to do that.
Yes, yes, that's so huge. Acupuncture, chiropractor. I do a lot of holistic stuff too. So yeah, I try to keep everything as much as I can in line. It's hard. It's definitely hard. There's moments where it gets challenging, it gets difficult, but just taking it a day at a time too.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, what do you consider an empath to be? And what do you think they struggle with?
I say an empath is someone that is in touch with other people's energy, someone that can sense things that people are feeling. They can sense things that almost are about to happen or that have happened, traumas, just very overly sensitive to the world, the universe, to people. And I think with empaths have to be careful on absorbing bad energy or negative energy. You could be watching the news and be very, very triggered and feel the intensity of the emotions and feel what's going on and be heartbroken from stuff. So I think just protecting yourself is really huge. And sometimes people take advantage of empaths and take advantage of the kindness, because I feel like we see the beauty in people and we see the light in people, and sometimes we don't really always see the darkness in people. So yeah, that's what I think.
So on that note, when an empath is taken advantage of, used, manipulated,
Right.
lied to, tricked, attacked, all the horrible things that often happen, what do you think? How do we bounce back from that?
That's hard. I feel, I had that situation happen to me last year and it took me a really long time, and I'm struggling with my own relationships with partners. I'm having a very difficult time with that. And it's just been a lot of self-healing, a lot of affirmations, a lot of looking at the bigger picture, a lot of not wanting to not trust anymore, but to definitely be more guarded. And if I have like red flags, to listen to them, or if I have something in my gut telling me something, to listen. Sometimes I can ignore it. And sometimes people, empaths, will ignore some of those little signs. Yeah.
So really just allowing ourselves to be dialed in as much as we can and really listening to the gut. But then if some betrayal or something happens, I think what I'm hearing you say is the healing process it may take a while. It's a long journey. And I would suggest that empaths use as many holistic healers as possible, physical body work as well as emotional, energetic healers who can help extract the energy signature of the violators from your cells, organs, your being. And if anyone is ever interested in some suggestions, you can feel free to email me at empathhearthealing@gmail.com. I'd be happy to suggest some various types of healers that can help get us back on track.
And I love that you said that, because that's so true. I feel that's what took me so long, is I thought, okay, this is fine. I'm strong. I've been through stuff, I'm hard. I can go through whatever. And now the last year, the last couple months, I've had so many different types of healers help me, and so many different, it's mind, body, spirit, everything. And now I'm feeling myself. I'm feeling back to myself again, and I'm feeling whatever negative energy was around is gone.
Right, because whatever the violation is, however they do it, it could be lying, stealing, cheating, or it could be full-blown physical assault, and everything in between. Whatever they do, even stealing money, whatever they do, a clinician, preferably, a high conscious therapist is going to help you integrate things and with brain reset. But a holistic healer, the Ayurvedic healer, or, some holistic masseuse, or someone who does alpha biotics, is going to help your physical body, the equilibrium, the nervous system calm. It's going to help your organs release the stress that has been held from the attack. And then there's other types of energy healers that are going to go in and extract the energetic interference that was implanted in you when that happened. Because as empaths, we're open. We're often very open. And so this, with that, even though long after the perpetrator is gone, their energy signature sometimes lingers. Right. And sometimes those cords need to be dissolved, and sometimes the energetic interference needs to be extracted. So there's a ton of different types of healers, mind, body, spirit, energy. And I'd be happy if anyone is interested, email me and I'll be happy to share.
Awesome.
All right. So Jacqueline, tell us about your podcast.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited for this. So I originally was doing interviews for Sheen magazine, and then I had so many of the guests that were telling me, your energy is amazing, you're awesome, you should have your own show. And I thought, why not? I want something that's my baby, something that I can create, something that I can do everything. And I thought everything out with the colors. I actually had one of the people I interviewed from Australia that is a spiritual coach, and she helped me with colors I should surround myself around. And so that was really beautiful. So Live with Jacqueline Valdez, originally it was Elegant Conversation with Jacqueline Valdez, but then I changed it. And so it's with rising stars and celebrities from all over the world. And people are giving tips on the entertainment industry, to health, to wellness, to just life tips, to manifesting, to being spiritual. It's incredible. It's a beautiful side of, Hollywood is what it is. It's not any negative, anything catty. It's all just seeing everyone's beautiful spirit and illuminating the world one voice at a time. I love it.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
So
it's
beautiful.
so much fun. I enjoy it. I have interviews weekly. It goes on live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, and then it goes to multiple podcasts. So you can hear it on every stream that you can think of, Spotify, iTunes, yeah, everything.
Wonderful. So everybody check her out for sure.
Yes.
And what are you most proud of, Jacqueline?
I would say I'm most proud of really embracing myself and letting my authentic self come out. For a long time, I was scared to really be who I am and really accepting that I am a spiritual person and that I am different and I am awkward and goofy and I love talking to fur babies. And I'm just really proud of being myself and being able to connect with so many people around the world and help to inspire others. And having a dance studio, it's my dance studio, Pole Studios, lasted for now, it's 21 years I've had it, which is amazing. And then having this incredible talk show happening and just coming across so many incredible people and, staying light and bright even through everything that I've been through and still pushing through and dancing, being able to move. That was a huge scare when I was told I wasn't going to be able to dance again. So the fact that I proved some doctors wrong, I'm pretty proud that my body's she's hanging in there.
Yeah, she's hanging in there. She loves you. Your
She
body
loves
loves
me.
you, and you've
Yes.
taken good care of it. And wow, 21 years. That's amazing. Wow, I just
Yeah.
really love the longevity that you've had in both the pole industry and just in life. Your resilience, your light, your beauty, it's just shining through, it's emanating. It's so wonderful. And, to get through, one of the things I love about this interview series is meeting all these people that got through the pandemic and they're not ragged and haggard and taggart. I mean, it hit us all in some way, shape, or form. Everybody's been affected, but not everybody looks like it.
Yeah. True.
Still carrying the light, and I just love it so much.
True. Yes, and I do have to say the opportunity to work with X-Pole, that has always been a dream of mine when I first started pole dancing. That was a huge, huge dream. Oh my gosh, one day I would love to work with them. And now I am working with them. And that is like such a huge honor. And with Sheen Magazine too, they're an incredible group and, a second family too. So I have all these, my dance studio family, my talk show family. I've got, Pole World News family, I've got Sheen, and I've got X-Pole. So even though, my family is all angels now, I have so many beautiful
You
people
have
surrounding
other family. Yeah. Shout out to X-Pole. I'm very familiar with X-Pole. Ty, thank you for all that you did to support Pole World News and the entire international pole community. And Sheen Magazine, thank you. Um, this is beautiful, and I think it's important to honor lineage. Lineage is very important, and those of us that are spiritual, we do have our spiritual lineages. But like I have a clinical lineage as well. That actually goes back to Freud. I have some issues with Freud, but the offshoots came from Freud. That created spiritual psychology and transpersonal psychology. So I do honor the lineage, and I think pole lineage, dance lineage, writing lineage, journalism lineage, whatever, music. It's a beautiful thing to know your roots and to honor them and to be grateful, right?
Yes.
Well, Jacqueline, is there anything else you'd like to share with us before we conclude this interview, including how people can get in touch with you?
Yes, people find me, please. So you can follow my YouTube page, my Facebook page, and my Instagram, Live with Jacqueline Valdez. Also, my Instagram is The Real Jacqueline Valdez, and that's spelled JACQUELINEVALDEZ. And then my dance studio is Jacqueline Valdez Dance, and I'm on Facebook and also on Instagram. So yeah, people can find me, they can message me, ask me any questions. I do different pole dance tips. I'll do Pilates exercises, some yoga classes. I'll stream some free stuff. So come hang out with me.
Amazing. Thank you so much for joining me today. It was absolutely delightful. I feel there's so much light around this interview, and I hope that it's really inspiring and encouraging to those who choose to look whenever they look. I am so happy to connect with your energy again. When you're in LA, please let me know when you're in LA. Let's get together. And I'm just supporting you and honoring you. And
I have so much love for you too. I always think about you all the time, and I always give thanks for opening up the doors for me with blogging, with interviewing, with red carpets. Like it's just, I love you.
I do. Mwah.